What's good, guys? It's Will here. We here on episode 4 of The Bronx Investor, where I talk all things personal finance and investing. And we finally episode 4 here, making a little ways here, putting down little stones here and there, trying to stay consistent with this. And today I actually have a pretty cool topic that I want to talk about with you guys. And it's actually gonna come in a form of a personal experience, like a personal story of mine. And yeah, going straight into this. So 2018, I went, graduated, got my bachelor's in human biology. I crawled through that, to make it to that finish line. I don't even want to talk GPAs, but for me, the most rewarding thing was actually, going there, finishing. And usually when someone graduates, they get a nice little graduation gift, For me, fortunately, my mother was able to, gift me $5,000. And there was only two things really going through my mind was, all the things that I learned in my last semester with that personal finance class. And I just had an idea that I wanted this money to be like my foundation, to be like my starting point. And I knew that, I have this right here. I'm just going to keep on building, accumulating that wealth. I already knew where I was in the financial life cycle. So what did I do? The next day, instinctively, I went down to Apple Bank, which is a savings bank, and I opened up a CD account. So what is a CD account? A CD account is just a certificate of deposit account. And the way I like to think of it is, it's just a different investment vehicle. It's a place where, you go, you put your money, it's going to be safe, guaranteed at the end of the year or however long you lock it for, your money, you'll get your investment, your initial investment back along with some interest that is accrued with it. So for me personally, this was like my little setup right here. I went down, I put 4,500. I owed 500 because I had to take a summer class after I graduated, crazy. And 500 down the drain. So I took my 4,500 and I locked it in for a rate of it was 2.12. So that was gonna be the interest that the bank pays me off that money. And I locked it in for a year. So know this, there's different kind of variables with all of that. So minimum deposits have to be, what I've seen is around $1,000 for CD accounts. I've also seen interest rates that are, 2.12 wasn't the highest I've ever seen, but it's pretty up there. You're not gonna see a 3%, interest for a CD account. I personally have never seen it. You probably might, different banks, but that's one of the variables. A different one is the length of the, the contract. So if you want to leave your money in with the bank for 1 year, you could. It could be 18 months. It could be 2 years. It could even be 6 months. So all of that varies. I've also tend to see that the longer you lock it in, you do get higher interest rates. But, it's all about that risk reward. So what happened? Put my 4,500 at the end of the year. The next year, I was excited. The bank sent me a little statement. You could come get your money. So I went in there, got my money, and I saw that my 4,500 had became $4,598. Not even $100. And I was taxed on that money. So you just know my frustration. I mean, part of it was my fault for not, having the right expectations. But at that moment, I automatically knew that I have to do something else with this money. There's no way I could leave 4,500 and only get just $98 in a whole year. Oh, and there's also a penalty fee if you do take your money out of a CD account early. So, you have a maturity date. When you take your money out early from that, you actually get penalized. And, so it's just it backfires on you. You're actually going to be spending more money. You're probably going to have to pay back your interest that you probably accrued. So what happened once I realized that my money really only made me $98? One, that's when I realized the low risk was the low reward. Yes, I was getting my money back for sure, but my return on investment wasn't that high. My ROI, I only made $98. So I knew I had to go for higher rewards. That just meant taking up more risk. So what did I do? I started taking my money and pouring it into the stock market, but in kind of waves. I knew I couldn't just throw all of it in there because one, I didn't know what I was doing. And two, I wasn't too sure of how realistic, how much money I really am gonna make off of it. So that just came with the knowledge of, reading, doing more research and info like that. And then I was getting more comfortable as putting my money in there. But, two things that I really want to just point out with this personal story I had of mine was you have to take the risk. Putting my money into the stock market was a bigger risk than, just having in a CD account, but it was well worth the risk. You know, my return right now, I'm up like 15, 16% on that, and I'm well over, you know, the 4,500. And two, you know, I hope you guys actually have, you know, a better understanding of what a certificate of deposit account is. You know, maybe you're walking down, you side glance at a bank's window and you see CD account rates, you know. Now you kind of understand and you know a little bit about what that is. So, you know, we're here, another episode. And the whole point is, guys, you have to risk it for the biscuit. You know, I want you guys to really remember that. Take that in. Learn your, you know, your own personal risk tolerance, how much risk you know, you can safely take on and feel comfortable with. And, you know, it's all about just making sure your money makes money. That's how you build that true wealth. And, you know, another episode, Bronx Investor. Love you guys.